Attention gamers. Lee Sin is a champ where every time you see him in low elo, he is either on the other team and is hard smurfing from Challenger to record footage for his 12th pro montage. Mastery level 7 is an understatement considering he has literal Lee Sin tattoos all over his body and does his errands like going to the supermarket looking like this. Then there are the Lee Sins that are on your team who only picked the champ because they themselves are blind in real life, so it's fitting to relate to the lore as they pace around nervously wondering if this is still even considered a gank at this point until it's time to stop procrastinating and just feed already, which introduces the all too common Lee syndrome. Symptoms of which include riding every single Q into battle no matter what, spending more time trying to execute a ward hop so you can look cool when just running away would have been faster, and drop-kicking enemies to their own safety only to try and make up for it by showing the world that greed is always followed by feed. And now to address the elephant in the room, because I know there's going to be a mob of commenting conniption fits because I titled this video Lee Sin Syndrome missing out of a great pun opportunity because I get these every day. So in summary, my response to comments like this is, I like when people watch my videos, and in order for them to watch them they need to find them. Search results is a big component of new audiences finding a video, so let's look at how many people search for the words Jin or syndrome, compare this to how many people search for the word Jindrome. And that's why until I am cool enough to rack in 2 million views on a video literally titled D, I will stick to optimized titles. But hey, it's a free world, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, which is why I wanted to give you an opportunity to make some bank by providing yours. Introducing YouGov, the do fast surveys earn fat stack strategy. With YouGov you can literally just speed run easy as hell surveys, racking up mad points and accumulating that redeemable wealth while never having to leave your bed. Like, check out me just smurfing on this survey in the background while I was waiting for minions to spawn, and no cap, I made enough from my first survey to buy a freaking Tesla, kind of. But it's so easy, a Yasuo main could do it. I mean, just look at how happy these people are knowing that they made more money than you from their phone the last time they were doing the dookie dance in the bathroom. So check my link in the description to get started, and thank YouGov for sponsoring today's syndrome video. Okay, so I was playing the part of the denim archer in this one next to my crystal caging blonde dime piece, and I believe the first gank from our test subject will serve as some much needed foreshadowing of what is to come as he does a little trophy trot before losing his blueberry in a sea of red babies, and that, my friends, concludes what will be his most successful gank in this game. And then normal junglers would let bygones be bygones, but not this ball of underperforming brain cells, so ring around the rift rosy and then back in bot to get cozy. And while I will never complain about getting too much attention from a jungler, I found myself making an exception here as he does hit a blue boy on Elon Musk's dog, and I thought he was gonna take it in until weaponized Stephen Hawking shows up. So joy, we get a 5-minute bot lane A ram, but turns out rabbits in robot costumes aren't fond of getting tied up and shot in the face, so he heads back to the forest, and you want to guess what this Lee does? He whiffs a sonic shitter and starts acting like he is going to leave, contribute to society, make a difference in the world, this time big New Year's resolution type talk. So I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna get an 8-pack and a big dick, and Lux is gonna get a tit job, and Lane shirtless, and I guess talking about all the things we weren't actually going to accomplish motivated him to do something intentionally feed as he literally flashes to appear confident in his decision here. So big blind surprise, he now dead, and the remnants of his greed must have rubbed off on Lux's fake tits because she followed suit, and after a 3-minute long gank we earn a 1 for 2. So then I am just chillin', ready to be a big bad hoodlum killin' villain, but guess who is back? And I feel all awkward with him watching, not knowing what he wants me to do, so I take the bait by being the bait, which allows Elon's dog to give me a handshake. So loser Lee enters, and the only casualty of this one was my flash. That said, I was still really in the mood to just cuddle up with these hooded midget employees and murder them, but Tweedledee and Blind and Dumb were insistent on getting even more behind the other lanes that were playing correctly as Blue Steward little pops out. Lee whiffs a fist jizz on a rooted target and then ports in to kick it back to safety. Luckily Lux still earned her bucks, and I went back to my red robe genocide, but these two were just insistent on tickling the tin tit under his tower until he was looking like a lost low battery Roomba at the bottom of a swimming pool, so a little cat and mouse bullshit ensued until I ended it. Well, actually the mouse came back because that's what they do when they spawn, and they typically pass where this one-shot Lee was backing in on their way to work, but how was he supposed to know that Twitch would come back bot? Then me and my banging internet GF celebrate the Lee absence like empty nester parents of a truly stupid kid by taking a trip up north and surprising he who surprises with a quick cage and cuckold combo. That said, Draco Malfoy and the main character from Megamind join the party, leaving me no choice but to shoot the vampire before he busts his nut on my girl, but I could not provide the block to that bloody cock in time. But look who decided to disgrace us with his presence yet again, as he rolls a blueberry through a puddle and then decides to slap the ground and yell defense as you see me catch a bout of idiot Titus with my ult before the puddle punk pursuit ends in a he who insects get squashed like an insect combo, but the deathbed drop kick allows us to slap the Slytherin. This leaves just that cyborg critter going full temper, and his suit may be high-tech but artificial intelligence has nothing on natural stupidity as he mindlessly donates his super suit to science, and with that, we survive another Lee Sin gang scratch-free.
Fired up and ready to serve.
What the hell was that? So the blind dingbat decides to take a trip up north as Quinn hits a scripting-esque dodge on his Q, and two wrongs don't make a right, but 2 seconds in a lane with this lead does indeed make a Riven angrier than a thumbless girl with an endless craving for raw pistachios. That said, they still have this cuck in the cape on their team with a fetish for blood, even if it means spilling his own, as he plays the whole I'm on my period to avoid getting fucked by a Lux laser card, but then he sticks around making me wonder what effects transfusing some of Lee's blood into him had, but long story short, he both dumb and dead now. And speaking of the blind bimbo, he is now deep, call him a dish pizza, trying to put the full court press on these piggies, and his actions are applying about as much pressure as a deflated tire in the International Space Station, but thanks to Quinn's damage existing about as much as his brain cells, he flees through the tantrum tomato. Psych, what good is barely escaping danger if you don't immediately run straight back into it, as he reunites with she whose sword has a boner just in time for him to put his name on the paper entitled How We Killed Elon's Dog. But shit gets real when Bobby Blood Puddle enters the server, and this man is so hot for a kill that he literally melts before Lee shows him why that 3rd grade kickball game was the last thing he'll ever win. Anyways, two douche snozzles can only publicly announce their forest fondling for so long before a pubescent rat comes by to announce that he was hiding, but at this point me and the blonde bitch with the baton are here to snake and bake the bottom feeder before asking Draco if he can demonstrate the invisibility cloak and get lost, so say goodbye to Harry Houdini and then also say goodbye to Harry Stephen Hawking, cause we had that hoe dead too. Now, a homie named Albert once said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again but expecting different results. And I think it's safe to say if Einstein were here he would be deeming this Sonic slut one insane motherfucker, as you see him put a ward down to mark the spot where he ran in the wrong direction, and I know this may come as a surprise, but enemy territory is typically populated by enemies, so he dies again. But in spirit of this video, what do you get when you combine a Lee Sin with famous Navy SEAL Chris Kyle? A blind snipe baby. Turns out Robo Rabbit was trying to get frisky and chicken coo, and in case you didn't know, that kind of disrespect is absolutely not tolerated and will almost certainly always result in the jungler dashing directly into danger and getting 3 dicks in the ass. And I guess iron deficiencies are becoming more prevalent considering everyone is lined up to nab some red meat, and speaking of iron. But anyways, the uncoordinated clusterfuck commences and I become the first Varus in history to steal a kill with my ult. Then Malfoy took a page out of Lee's Jungle Book and ran away from safety, so I hop in the UFO shuttler to do my best Juicy J impersonation and hit it from the back. Then a few minutes later we introduce Lee to the concept of picking off enemies and getting kills, and just like that he was like a high school kid who just smoked pot for the first time. He didn't get high, but everyone around him looked like they were having fun, so the craving for approval after giving the enemy 9 kills was present as he stuck around for his next hit, but the reality of the situation was that he had no clue what he was doing without his friend's help, and the outcome of his meager attempts was not surprising. But this didn't stop his desire to pick useless fights with their supports who rock so much juke you could box them up, shove quarters in their ass and request they play songs for you. That said, those kind of things weren't Lee's style, and neither was playing around objectives or not chasing weaponized Roombas past tier 2 turrets with absolutely nothing to gain, and I'm not gonna say he learned his lesson, but I will say the lesson was definitely present. Then I catch that iOS 8 asshole interrupting Hoppy Zelda's back, so I give him the old chain banger, then shit some sky arrows into a snipe combo for the kill. And if you didn't catch the blind bimbo's involvement in that little encounter, he was busy having some alone time with the BattleBot mole rat, which didn't end in anything worth putting in his autobiography. And if this isn't the epitome of solo queue syndrome, I don't know what is. I have my GF heating up a red buff for me, you know, a 13 kill AD carry to slurp it up, but the 0 and 11 Lee is like nope, slurp.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really
But thank God his squishy underleveled ass got it, because he damn near just got a job at Uber Eats, and a fucking fed rat on the other team had ordered one of those exact buffs, so he nails his first day on the job and hand delivers it over instantly. That said, with that red buff transfer came Lee's intelligence. As you can see, the syndrome wore off on the rat right after. And this allowed us to slay a wild Charizard, then ride the port my wet pussy express, then pinata the piss out of our puddle pal. So all aboard the LP train ahead with a quick pit stop to remind this Quinn that she ain't gonna win with a dickin' on the chin, and with it you can say that we overcame a rather severe case of Lee syndrome. Ravi boy outie.
Fuck with Ravi boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy, talk to me slick and I'm popping your pappy. If happy talk back then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy I'll make her happy. Let's go.